Moving on to Temple University, head coach Matt Rhule. The Owls are 0-4 overall, 0-1 in the American. Temple was in action this past Saturday at Idaho. Idaho won the game 26-24. Temple back on the field this Saturday against Louisville. That will be a noon Eastern Time start in the American Athletic Conference Game of the Week on ESPN Regional. Coach, thanks for joining us on the call. If you could take a minute to tie up the trip to Idaho and then tell us what you're looking forward to as you get back into conference play against Louisville, please.
Obviously we were disappointed not come away with the win in the Idaho game. Our players showed a lot of courage and toughness coming back and, fighting down to the wire, after we got behind early, but still came up just a couple plays short. So as we head into this week, obviously we're facing a dynamic top 10, 7th ranked Louisville team. We just continue to put the focus back on our team to continue to play hard and at the same time try to go make a play. There's some plays to be made in the Idaho game that we didn't make that could have been the difference in the game. So as we move forward now, we're going to try to just keep trying to make those plays and get ready to battle a tough Louisville squad.
Questions for Coach Matt Rhule, please hit *1 on your telephone to join the queue, and then the operator will introduce you.
We'll hear from John DeCarlo with owlswoop.com.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Good, man. Yourself?
Good. Hey, I know Connor was pretty harsh with his own assessment and said there were some players that he left on the field and overthrew some guys. What was your evaluation of his performance, and how do you see things at that position moving forward?
I think Connor was fair with himself. He probably ran. They made a decision to come out and play all man and take away the run game, and we ran by them a couple times and had a chance to maybe make a couple of those plays. What Connor's not saying is, there's guys are hitting him as he's throwing it. There's some things that could have been done better. So I think, Connor's our starting quarterback. He's only played 4 games. We're kind of 3.5 games really. Everything's a learning experience, and we expect him to play well this week.
Where are things breaking down on defense in your estimation?
It's big plays. It's big plays and big plays alone. I think for 71 plays we held them to 231 yards, which is top 10 numbers. But there's 6 other plays that are 280 yards. So, it's a guy known as a silent. Really, they hit us on a couple long wheels. Where they threw the ball to the back out of the backfield, and that's a linebacker has to run with that, or each one might be a different guy. But for us, the issue all year has just been big plays. Not consistently being beat. So we're just trying to get our guys to eliminate those big plays. We have to start making big plays, and we have to eliminate the other team from making them.
We've talked about it before, and obviously this Saturday's game is really tough. Even if you guys had started 4-0 as opposed to 0-4, how much help do you guys have to get from the players in terms of just holding things together? Because I know guys say it's easier to teach and coach after a win. You guys have had some tough ones. What's the mood of the team been like, and how do you guys kind of hold this group together to try and get some wins down the stretch here?
I think the mood of the team is really good. I think you have a bunch of seniors that are battling because they want to go out on the right note, and then really, John, as you look out there, you have a bunch of young players that are, freshmen and sophomores that are out there playing who, while they're disappointed they're losing, they know that they're just a play or two away. These games are, Houston was 15-13 with a couple minutes left, 29-30, 26-24. What they're learning is invaluable. They're learning that the difference between winning and losing is just a fraction of an inch, just a couple plays. And so, they know that at some point that tide will turn if we just continue to work and battle and try to go make those plays. So I don't think we have even a fractured team, even their psyche at all. I think we have a team that's resilient and that wants to come back and prove they can win.
I know you gave Chris. You talked about going into the year how you would maybe give teams a different look and throwing Chris back there, and you had Chris Corder in for part of that one series. Was that to give the offense just a little bit of a jolt, and was that also maybe a chance to give Connor a few plays to kind of see things from the sideline and get a break too?
Well, really what happened was Idaho just kind of lined up and put 5 D linemen in the game and just dared us to throw it. And, we really wanted to get Zaire and Kenny going. So, really to kind of handle the extra guy, we put Chris in so we could read him, because really with Connor's knee, we were doing that with Connor early against Notre Dame and some people who with his knee, he really hasn't been able to run the football very much. So that was just really a way for us to get some runs. We didn't help the defense at all as an offense on Saturday. We kind of went 3 and out a couple times, didn't run much clock, and got the defense right back out there. So we wanted to get the running game going, and Chris was our best option.
When you look ahead to Louisville, how do you even just try to contain Teddy and what they do on offense? I know it's not an easy job, but based off of personnel that you have, the kind of the ups and downs of the defense, where do you guys go from here in terms of trying to just limit what they can do in order to keep yourselves in the game?
I think you just go play. I mean, you try to eliminate big plays. I mean, that's what Teddy does both with his arm and their running backs are dynamic. Their wideouts are dynamic. So as you go back and watch last year's game against Temple, that it was big plays that hurt him in that game. So I think for us it's to eliminate big plays when a play does pop, get it on the ground, and just try to play defense the way we can. To make sure everybody's in their gap, everybody's doing their job, and be accountable to what you're doing. And so. I don't know if that can change no matter who you play. Obviously, these guys are extremely talented personnel-wise, and they have a great scheme. But I think for us, we just have to focus on what we're doing.
Have there been any, one last question, but have there been any, I know coming off the Fordham game, you switched on the depth chart a little bit, any more movement there in terms of what you saw off the film? Any guys that are maybe getting a shot now, any younger guys or guys that have kind of been buried on the chart before?
I would just say the big thing was that I think the big thing was just the fact that, because even the changes we made last week, we made some more going into the game. I think the big thing was that just some of those kids that got an opportunity went out and played really well. Obviously Matakevich played really well on defense, but Sheree Finch went out as a true freshman and made a lot of plays for us, rushed the passer. Nate Smith, just was all over the field, wreaked havoc. Matt Ioannidis was in the backfield. He played a really good game for us. So, not so much necessarily that there's any more changes, but those kids that we put in there and split reps, they're going to continue to play a lot. One guy that you maybe won't notice, but Hershey Walton really played. He had some health issues. He really played for the first time this year and was one of our best players on defense on Saturday. So you'll see him play a lot more.
Thanks, Matt. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sure. Thanks, John.
Moving on to Dan Gaussman with USA Today.
Hi, Matt. How are you doing?
Great. Yourself?
Good. We've seen 2 head coaches lose their jobs, and it's only September. I'm wondering, in general, how soon is too soon for a change like that to happen in your mind?
That's probably hard for me to say. I just all I know is I watched the UConn team. I didn't see the game this past week. I watched the UConn team a week ago take a great Michigan team to the wire, and so obviously, Coach Pasqualoni did a great job in that game and got his team ready to go play a great football game, and his team responded. So, I think when you start firing coaches in September, a lot of times it's done for the public, it's done for other reasons, but that football team showed just a week ago that they were responding to Coach, who's one of the great coaches, in the coaching profession. And so I would have assumed that they probably would have responded throughout the course of the years they were going through their ups and downs. So it seems awfully early to me, and I think it's sad really for the profession when it happens. But I wasn't in that particular situation, so I don't know.
Yes, thank you.
Donald Hunt with the Philadelphia Tribune has the next question.
Hey, Don, how you doing, man?
Okay, man. Listen, Matt, can you talk a little bit more about Teddy Bridgewater, because he's a Heisman Trophy candidate and, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and I think he might be one of the most highly profile players that come into college football players that come into play in Philly since like maybe Michael Vick, when he was with Virginia Tech, he came in during those years, and I don't know, Santana Moss. So just give your views on him as a player and his profile.
I think the biggest thing that you can say about Teddy is that he's NFL ready. He's an NFL style quarterback. You can see him making checks at the line. You can see him changing protections. He's operating in a pro-style system. He can throw, all the different throws. So he's someone that easily, as you look at his skill set, translates to the next level. So anybody that sees him play Saturday, not only is he a Heisman candidate, but he's also someone that's going to be a great quarterback at the next level in the NFL.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys have to do to sort of slow him down a little bit? Make him do some things that he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is eliminate the deep ball and the big plays. I mean, he has great wideouts, big wideouts, guys who can make plays down the field for him. He throws a great deep ball. So if you can take that away, obviously that's what they'd love to do first. And the second thing is you have to get a rush. I mean, the only way to really stop a great quarterback is to make him move his feet and hit him and get him off his spot. So sometimes those two things can be hard because if you have to blitz, you make yourself susceptible to the deep ball because you have to play, man-on-man coverage outside or deep coverage, one-on-one coverage outside. So we're going to have to try to mix it up and find a way to get to him because if he's comfortable, he's deadly.
Okay. All right, Matt. Thanks a lot now.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to Dallas Jackson with YahooSports.com.
Coach, how are you this morning? Good, yourself?
Doing well, man. I got a question maybe more specific to your program. But with the announcements of Penn State getting 5 scholarships back this year, do you think that has any impact on what you're trying to do since you guys are recruiting that same region?
Obviously, them having that's 5 more players that they can take, that you just have to go compete against. So it certainly has an impact on us and Syracuse and really everyone else in this region, just because there's 5 more scholarships out there for kids to get.
Did you think it was, I don't know if it's fair or unfair, but was it a surprise that they did it for this particular class right in the middle of it instead of waiting for next year's class to cycle that ruling in?
To be honest with you, I'm not really very familiar with the details of how it happened. So I hadn't really thought about that particular question. I just really only think about kind of how things maybe impact us.
All right, and how do you think that your message has been received on the recruiting show so far with the 0-4 start?
I think the recruits, to be quite honest, I think recruits have been excited. I think they see, number one, an opportunity to play, and I think that especially offensive kids that have watched us play, while it hasn't always clicked, I think they like the system. I mean, I think they like what we're doing, and so at the end of the day in recruiting, a lot of times you're looking for the best possible fit and opportunity for you, and I think our system and the fact that we're willing to play young players has been really well received. I think that kids want to come play here.
Thank you, Coach.
Sir, thank you.
Joey Johnston with the Tampa Tribune. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I know Louisville is making a 1-year stay in this league before moving on, but how much does their presence in the top 10 and the profile that they have so far help a league that's trying in its first year to get some credibility and recognition?
I think it helps a lot. Just shows the caliber of teams, and then I think as teams that are staying in the league, play Louisville, and show well. I think that it just goes to show the type of teams that we have here. So I think their presence has been good for the American.
Thanks.
Nick Minta with Comcast Sports Philadelphia has the next question.
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Good, Nick. How you doing, man?
Good. I know you challenged him before the year, and you've sort of continually challenged him throughout the season. Tyler comes out and, despite the losing effort, has 24 tackles. What is it about him that makes him so successful in just getting to the football?
Well, he has tremendous vision and a feel for the game, and so he can sort of see where the ball's going to end up before it's there. He's a playmaker, and that's something that showed up last year. Now what he's begun to add is he's starting to make a lot of physical plays. He's getting off blocks. He had a couple of really big hits on the quarterback that don't even, after he threw it, that don't show up in the tackle column, but that really impacted the game and helped get us a little bit of energy and juice. So Tyler's getting better and better.
Every other thing is showing up in the tackle column. He's quite high in a number of national stats. Is that something you even talk about with him, or put it this way, is that where you think he deserves to be up on lists that high?
Yeah, well, he's earning the plays he's making right now, and I've been very frank about him when I don't think he's playing, to a level that I wanted, he played at a high level on Saturday. You know, those tackles that he's making for loss, I mean, that's on the 5-yard line against Notre Dame, you know, when they're getting ready to go in at the end of the game. That's last game when we had to get the ball back. He made 2 or 3 of those tackles in a row, so he's earning all the tackles he's making.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick.
Coach, we thank you for the time this week. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Yes, thank you.
Against Louisville at home in Philadelphia. It'll be the American Athletic Conference Game of the Week on ESPN Regional at noon Eastern Time.